Well, speaking of Jim Norton.
Yes, sir.
How are we going to get that guy on the show?
You would think at this point he'd be willing to come on, but he's just a pain in the ass.
I mean, it's funny because over time, I have literally traded emails back and forth with him. Mm-hmm. But then when it comes to nailing down a time and place, that's where it just gets lost.
You know what? I think Jim probably wants to do stuff, but then it gets all when somebody makes an offer to him, I think he probably throws it out to his manager, and that's where we get lost.
Oh. Well, he's going to... I heard him today, or not this today, but earlier this week.
Yeah.
On the Opie and Jim show.
Yeah.
I had a rental car that had Sirius in the car.
Yeah.
And I was listening to it, and I guess he's going to film another HBO or Netflix style special.
I think he did it this weekend.
Yeah, it's in Hartford, Connecticut or something like that.
Yeah.
And, since he's doing that and he's going to probably do some promotion for it and some press for it.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe when he does his promotional circuit interview stuff, maybe we could get in on that.
I can ask. I mean, I can find out who's the circuit master on that one and get that done. The problem is it'll be at fucking 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And they'll miss it.
Yeah, because I want to be a part of that.
I know, but that's when they always do those.
I know.
10 a.m.
I know.
You know.
But that guy cracks me up.
Believe me, dude. If there was a way to get all these interviews during your schedule, I would never be on another one. I don't care what Mark Striegel says about my amazing ability to interview. I fucking hate it, and I'm sick of doing them, and I would much rather you do them.
Well, that's going to change.
Well, yeah. Sooner than later, so I hear.
Yeah.
I hope.
That's going to change. So anyway, that's just one guy that I have in mind. I would love to get that guy on the show.
Well, we get Jimmy. I'll just let you do it. I mean, I've interviewed Jim before, so, and, it's just another interview to me. So.
Yeah, he's a funny son of a bitch, though.
You know what, though? He's not really that funny in interviews.
I don't imagine. I mean, I'm sure, he's not the funniest cracking jokes and whatever, but I just like his humor. He's just goofy, he's just funny.
Did you happen to see the video of him right at the beginning of the interview with Tara Reid this week?
Yes, I did. I saw that where he was acting like he didn't know that the sharks weren't real in Sharknado.
That shit had me rolling.
I just like the look on his face, like he was like totally stunned. Like they didn't use real sharks. I thought that they maybe even had like a model or something.
And that stupid cunt just couldn't figure out that he was fucking with her.
Yeah, and even Opie was just playing along, like, oh, awkward.
But even the fucking publicist next to him was just laughing along.
Yeah, that Asian chick.
Yeah. And still Tara Reid didn't get it. She was, and what was the part about? Oh, they don't use a real hand. Norton said something about.
Yeah, he's like, I thought that there was some regulations in using real body parts.
She was like, "There's no real body." He's like, "Wait a minute, really?" He was just fucking with this chick, and she was too dumb to get it.
Yeah,
it's so great. And I don't know if you've noticed. I mean, dude, I literally watch the videos more than I listen to the shows now.
Sure.
Jim has this new thing now where he does purposely awkward hugs when people come in the studio.
Right.
Have you seen this?
Yes.
God damn, the Tara Reid one was so fucking funny. He literally hugged her like she was like a lost stepsister.
Right.
He just came up and was, "Oh, Tara!" Fucking bear hugged her.
Sure.
So funny.
Like she was like an old lost friend or something.
And she just had this look of horror on her face, like, this fucking guy.
Right.
So great.
Sure. He's just funny.
He is funny.
I mean, I just like that Jim Norton he's just funny.
Norton is the shit. Dude.
I mean, he's not. I don't know how to even explain him. He's not like a mainstream comedian. He's just sort of like on the fringes.
Yeah, well, he's a cringe humor comic.
He is.
That's what he does. I mean, his humor is not for everybody. It's probably for everybody that listens to this show because it's very similar to what we do. I mean, I'll be the first one to say proudly that the influence that I personally get for doing radio comes from O&A, comes from the Opie and Anthony show.
Absolutely.
You know, that's where I got the idea. You know, when we started talking, that was where it came from.
Right.
Was to do that, not to do stern, but to do conversational, but just say whatever the fuck you think and let it fall where it lays.
Right.
You know, and that totally came from O&A.
Well, and I'm not going to get into it, not get into specifics, but you know as well as I do that I caught a lot of shit this week.
Oh yeah,
for the show.
Right, sure.
And it was really had nothing to do with anything, but I caught a little flack this week about the show. And it was just like, where did that come from?
Oh, dude, it just comes regularly, man. It just happens. You get it, I get it. You know, and you know what is the most surprising thing to me about that? And your situation this week is a prime example of it. It always comes from people that know better. It never really comes from people that just shouldn't know better. You know, it's never like people that heard it for the first time and are just horrified. Because if they're just horrified, they just don't listen.
Sure.
But it comes from people that we know, that we've had conversations with, that we've explained to them the nature of the show and what it is, and, you know, the difference between radio you and real you and blah, 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 blah. You know, we've had all these conversations with these people. And both of us regularly end up with somebody saying, that's fucked up the way you guys said that.
Yeah.
You guys are sexist pigs.
Yeah.
You guys are assholes.
Right.
And it always comes from people that just should know or do know.
And that have actually witnessed the thing in action.
Exactly. I mean, I'll sell one out that always criticizes me personally, and she's still my friend. And I love her to death. It was Veronica.
Right.
Veronica knows what we do. She's seen it in action. And she'll still, every once in a while, she'll throw a text to me. And she'll be like, what were you thinking when you said this?
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny because during the last segment with the moose, she was texting me the whole time.
Really?
I'm listening to you guys.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And Veronica gets it. But I think that when the mood is different or when her mood is different, and I'm not just saying this just about her, I just think in general.
Yeah, in general.
I think in general, there's times that we don't fit people's mood.
I agree with that.
When people are in a fun, silly, don't give a fuck mood.
It's like you guys are fucking funny.
Yeah.
And then when you're in a different mood, it's just like you guys are assholes.
You're a little bit on edge or whatever, and then we hit a hot pocket for you. Then it's like, ooh, you guys are really dicks. You know, and it does happen that way. But it's, you know, you and I have had this discussion personally between the two of us a number of times that we're not going to stop doing it the way we do it. We're never going to have a line, you know, and that's it.
Well, I got a comment earlier this week.
Okay.
That I was listening to you guys. I was really repulsed by what you said, but I couldn't stop listening because it was really funny.
Okay, that's a win.
So what is it? Were you turned off or was it funny?
Yeah.
I was really repulsed, but I couldn't stop listening because it was really funny.
See, when I'm repulsed, I stop. When I'm repulsed by something,
I was totally turned off by what you said, but I couldn't stop laughing.
But I kept right on listening.
So and I relate this a lot to people's religious upbringing.
Yeah.
It's like I shouldn't be listening to this, but I can't stop because it really
hits home.
It hits home with me.
Right.
But I feel guilty for enjoying this.
And you know what? You are our core audience.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I honestly believe, and especially, I'll say it, especially the girls. The girls that listen, I think they're just fucking half the time they're not happy with the shit we say. But they think it's funny.
Yeah.
They think it's funny, and they find it funny that we will just call out women for our view.
Sure.
I don't even want to say the way it is, but for our vision of the way it is.
Right. Well, that's interesting that you would use that terminology, because I know you don't even know what I'm leading into here.
I don't. I have no clue.
So since you brought that up and since you made that statement, I think that this is a very good lead in.
All right.
So let's get into a little Snatch Chat here.
All right, let's do it. There's a request in the chat room that we need a Snatch Chat bumper. Dude, I'm in a total fucking sexed up porn fucking drunk stupor tonight. I'm just ready to talk about pussy, 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 pussy.
Isn't that like the greatest word ever? Cunt.
Roast beef.
Pictures of snatch shoots. A snatch.
You got 3 inches of moist skin flaps, and we'll do anything for that.
That's so funny. Well, anyway, since we're talking about Opie and Jim.
Okay.
Is that what they're calling that show now?
I saw some video, and it just says Opie Radio on all
Opie
the
Radio?
Yeah.
Well, Opie and Anthony, his former partner Anthony is off doing his own show.
Yeah.
Anthony was a guest on the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah, I listened to that. It was great.
They do a very poignant discussion here about how at least they perceive women's viewpoint in relationships and
right.
How men get along with women and, what women's expectations are, at least from a man's point of view, etc. And I thought it was very well done.
I did too.
I thought it was very well done. This segment runs about 19 minutes, which, between our commentary and the audio,
sure.
This will take us to the end of the show.
All right.
But this is Joe Rogan and Anthony Cumia on the Joe Rogan Show.
Excellent.
The Joe Rogan Experience number 560. And I think that they make a lot of good points. Now, if there are any females tuned into the show tonight, I encourage you to call if you have a counterpoint. 800-497-5891. I don't think we'll get one call, but regardless, we're going to go through this.
All right.
All right. So here it is. This is Joe Rogan talking to Anthony Cumia about how women view relationships with men.
All right.
A beautiful thing about being influenced by movies and books and songs, and that they provide us with entertainment and inspiration, but they also really distort the shit out of realistic scenarios.
Real life. But I think you're supposed to be able to distinguish between that.
Though.
Art is one thing and reality is another. Art, I think, is based on reality, and then
but
you've got
it influences reality so much.
Yeah,
Movies,
yeah.
Especially with women. How many women have these,
God.
but especially young women that have these distorted perceptions of Channing Tatum movies? Channing Tatum that's how men behave, and this is reality. It's going to happen to me. I just got to find my prince.
Yeah, it's just not
a bunch
the
of
way.
dudes who want to come in you. That's all.
All right. Now, when I heard that line,
yeah,
who do you think the first person I thought about when I heard that line?
Gotta be me.
No.
No?
No.
Who?
Our good friend Tommy Crash.
Oh, yeah. All right.
That was the first guy that I thought about when I heard Joe say those words.
Right, sure.
Because Tommy has made it very clear on this show over the last month or so that all us guys want to do is just come. And that's basically what Joe is saying. It's just like, we just want to bang you chicks.
Well, yeah. I don't see it. Is that in dispute somehow?
No, there's no dispute at all. But Joe and Anthony are going to go into this as to the negative viewpoint that seems to raise the ire of certain women in our in our community.
Okay.
So here we go.
It really is out there. They're just lying, and both sides, the aggressive male side and the men who are pretending they're not like all the other men because they want to come in you too, and that's the only way they can go about getting in there.
Is being unique.
Yeah, or just being like on your side. Men are shit.
Right.
Man, I'm horrified to be a man. Men are shit. I'm different.
You see that on Twitter in its most archaic form, which is the white knight.
Yes.
I fucking love the white knight. I don't think I really verbally go, ugh.
Yeah.
When reading anything else but white knights on Twitter. When you bash somebody who's a girl and you call her out on something. And then some guy swoops in, don't take that, you're beautiful, you're a beautiful person, and this, and you're just like, dude, first of all, you just want to fuck her. Mm-hmm. You want to do the same thing the guy that's fucking bashing her wants to do.
Yeah.
He's just taking a different angle.
Yeah.
You know? And you swoop in, and what is their mindset? Oh, DM me. You're a good man. Like, it just doesn't happen.
They just want love.
Love.
They just want love. It's not going to get their way. They just want love.
It just doesn't happen. I've given up on the concept of love. I honestly don't think it really exists. And this is something a lot of people have called me on. I think love is a cross between lust and an obsession. Kind of a, not really obsession. I think maybe a fascination, kind of just this quick thing that happens. It doesn't last long. It could last maybe a few years. It could last quite a few years. But it's still the same thing. It's lust and this fascination with the person. And that conjures up this mixture that seems like something that's love.
In the perfect scenario, you don't think that people can be in love?
No.
I am so on board with Anthony there.
I think a lot of guys are.
That is exactly how I feel.
I think a lot of guys are.
You know, I mean, I have plenty of girlfriends, not girlfriends, but
female friends.
Yeah, that I hang out with. And you know this, dude.
Sure.
Every time you come out here, there's 2 or 3 with me.
Right.
You know, every single time. And I enjoy that. And I certainly enjoy the friend with benefit type of a thing. And,
yeah, well, you know what the thing is my most successful, and I'm going to use the word successful as in stress-free.
Yeah.
My most successful relationships have always been the friends with benefits. They didn't last forever, but they were stress-free.
And they don't need to last forever, just like he's saying, because there is not really love. There's just like kind of a lust thing.
Right.
And a fascination with that person.
Sure.
You know, I've said this forever, and people laugh at me, and, you know, especially now that I'm divorced, it makes a whole lot more sense. I honestly believe that you should that your marriage should expire. I think your marriage should expire at a defined time, 15 years, 20 years, 10 years, whatever it is.
That's even way longer than I would give it. I would give it 2 to 5 at the most.
See, I would say 10 because of the finances and kids and everything.
See, now you're bringing kids into the mix. See, that's one thing I never brought into the mix ever is.
But you have to consider that
I suppose. I mean, if you're going to procreate with a woman. Yeah, you're locked in for at least 10, if not 18 years.
And that's what I think is but let's just play this out at 10. So you get married, and at 10 years your marriage is up, which means at that point you can walk away or you can renew, like a driver's license.
Yeah, but now at 10 years, are kids already involved or not?
If there's kids involved, or if there's kids involved, or if there is a lifestyle change that affects, then you have to deal with the financial ramifications of it.
Sure. But is creating offspring just a financial ramification?
Yes.
That's just it. Just financial.
Well, I mean, unless you want more.
No, my point is that there's a issue of raising the children.
Okay, and that could be valued at a certain
to adulthood.
That could
but there's a certain amount of responsibility, at least in my world, that goes with, well, you have to raise these children to adulthood.
Okay.
So do you break up the family at 10 years and one or the other raises them? Or do you have the, you get them this weekend, I get them that weekend scenario, which, has been proven to kind of fuck up a person's, the way that they're raised.
Right. No, I mean that these are the details that you'd have to work out.
Yeah, but the thing is that it's not one size fits all.
No, and it can't be, because everybody's different. Some guys will have their chick stop working. Well, you can't at the end of 10 years say, well, you haven't worked for 10 years, but now fuck you.
Now you got to go back to work.
Yeah, you can't do that either, because that's not fair. I'm talking about a fair distribution of it. If you walk away at the 10 years, well, you still have to answer for the decisions that you made in the 10 years.
So we're talking about a prenup here.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, so the prenup definitely has to be in place if that's the type of agreement you're looking for.
I guess what I'm saying, I mean, my point is that you expire it at 10 years, which would then fall on a prenup. I guess maybe an easier way to put it is that every marriage should have a prenup.
I guess in this day and age, yeah, I guess so.
Every marriage now.
But my point is, well, here's another point. If you're going to go case by case like that,
yeah,
why even bother making a legal binding agreement?
The only thing I can think of is this whole fucking health thing.
That's not even a big enough issue to say, well, let's get married for health insurance.
Well, not health insurance, but the ability, if the person's incapacitated, to make decisions and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm not wrong, you could probably work that out with a lawyer without a marriage.
Sure,
but I don't know, man. I just think that trying to say that, okay, you're married to this person, you're 22, and this is the way it is forever, is dumb.
Well, then don't get married.
Well, I agree with that, but I'm saying no one should get married for that same reason.
Well, but there might be somebody out there who wants to commit their life.
So do it.
So go ahead and do it. But if you think that you're one of those people, and I'm going to tell you that I'm one of those people that doesn't want to go down that road, I won't.
Dude, if you're committed to, let's just say you had a magic girlfriend all of a sudden. Okay. And you've been seeing this magic girlfriend for fucking 5 years. And I mean, everything is rosy.
Okay.
Perfect relationship.
Sure.
Why and you never want to be away from this chick. This chick is perfect for you. Okay.
All right.
Do you need to fucking walk down an aisle, or can you be committed to her without a fucking legal document?
Well, I can tell you just from my personal experience. I can't speak for everybody, obviously.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, the whole marriage issue is the woman's issue.
Okay.
That's my viewpoint.
Sure.
9 times out of 10, marriage is the woman's issue.
And 9 times out of 10, and 6 times out of 10, it fails.
I'm not going to disagree with that, but my point is that 9 times out of 10, it's the woman who's pushing the marriage issue.
See, and my point is, only 4 times out of 10 is the woman ever right.
Okay,
that's my point.
But it's more often not the guy who's saying, "Let's get married. Let's get married. Let's get married."
No, but you're discarding my point.
No, I'm not discarding your point.
9 out of 10 want the marriage, and 6 out of 10 fail. That means that women are wrong 6 out of 9 times. So they shouldn't get as much say.
I agree with that, but my point is that most guys, I'm not saying all, I'm saying most guys would never breach the whole marriage proposal situation unless they were being pressured into it.
Right. Not necessarily, but I won't give the full credit to that just to the woman, because a lot of the time that comes from the family.
Well, but again, if it was just left up to the guy and the girl, it would never be the guy's issue.
True.
The guy would never go, oh, well, we should get married. We should get married.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's no guy that would do that, but more often than not, it's not the guy's issue.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, I told you about a situation that affected me this past week. I'm not going to mention names or get into real specifics.
Okay.
But somebody that I was involved with
Yes.
at an advanced age, and I'm talking over 40,
Okay.
got involved with somebody who's kind of a dirtbag.
Piece of shit.
Yeah. And she knew he was a dirtbag,
Yeah.
but she continued pursuing that situation to where post 40 years old,
Yeah.
she got pregnant.
Ugh.
She marries the guy because of the pregnancy, I'm assuming,
Jesus.
and then miscarries after the marriage.
Well, at least something went right.
And she drags 2 children from a previous marriage into it.
That's tough, man.
Just stupid.
Just an idiot.
Just stupid.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what are you doing?
And then she'll come back to you in about 2 years. "Oh, I made a terrible mistake."
Yeah, exactly. So someone who's 40 plus years old getting pregnant, like
Yeah.
a 16-year-old who doesn't know any better,
Exactly.
and then getting married on top of that, knowing full and well that there's an issue with the person they're getting involved with.
Yeah.
That's just stupid.
And who marries somebody named Pete So Shit?
Exactly. So it's just like I have it's very difficult. I'm not saying that I don't have respect for women,
Yeah.
because you know me, I'm very chivalrous in very many ways,
Right.
but it's difficult to have respect when women act that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just tough for you to go, you're fucking nuts.
Yeah. It's funny because me and John and Steph were having that conversation earlier about chicks and chicks always being crazy. And Steph was like, every woman's not crazy. I was like, yeah, y'all are,
Yeah.
including you.
Yeah, it's tough to go, I have full respect for you, and you exercise just rational thought processes, and everything that comes out of your mouth and all of your actions are very well thought out and very sensible.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not.
Well, it's because, it's funny that we're having this conversation now. This is like a replay of 6-7 hours ago.
Sure.
But I equate this to the fact that guys are fixers and chicks are emotional.
Yeah.
And the two don't jive.
No.
We take emotional thinking where rationale doesn't come into play as crazy.
Right.
That we'll take it as crazy every time because we won't necessarily take on a problem from the emotional standpoint. We'll do our best to put the emotional out of it and say, okay, example, I'll just throw any example out there. Whatever couple can't afford their mortgage.
Okay.
Can't afford their rent, whatever it is. And they're going to get tossed out of their place. Me and you, guys, in general, we come at it from a fixing standpoint. All right, well, I'll go and I'll work at Subway 2 nights a week, and I'll work at Burger King 2 nights a week, and whatever, and I'll raise some more money for this.
Sure. You'll do what it takes to get the job done.
Yeah. Woman, other side of it is, we're just losers. We're pieces of shit. The world is over. How can we live this way? It's all emotion without any thought about actually fixing the problem.
Right.
And that's what it comes down to.
Sure.
And then it turns into a big fucking fight because the guy wants to say, look, I'm just going to go do this. And the girl's like, well, we're just so fucked and, blah, 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 blah. And it turns into a big fucking problem.
Yep.
That's how it works. So I don't know. I've rethought the thought of every chick is crazy, but I think every chick definitely reacts emotionally, which fucking is not rational.
No, that's always been the point that I've made, is that it's not a rational thought. It's just an emotional reaction.
Right.
Period.
That is.
So let's get in to see what Anthony and Joe Rogan have to say.
All right.
Honestly, don't see two people. I think honest love would be like you just never argue. You agree with everything. There's never a snooty, snippy moment. So it just doesn't exist. And in time, it transfers into something more a habit, a habitual thing. The lust turns into habit, and the fascination turns into comfort zone, and then you're just together, and you continue to be together. And you don't even know about love anymore. You're not coming home every day. You're not at the office going, fuck, I want to be with her. God. When you first get together, you're like, I can't even work. I love this girl. I want to be with her. I want to fucking smell her hair and kiss her and hug her. And then you got to leave and you go into the store for 10 minutes. Sweetie, oh, I love you. Oh, I wish I didn't have to go. Come with me. Come to the store. It's just fucking crazy. 20 years of marriage and you're still doing that bullshit. And you still love the person? No. You're now in a habitual relationship.
Well, when I hear Anthony going off like that,
yeah,
all I can think about is someone who kind of was a trailblazer in speaking openly and honestly and candidly about that kind of stuff is Sam Kinison.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he built that into his act. It says, I'm glad I got married. I would love to just stay home and fuck you all day. You know?
Right.
I mean, he was like that.
He was.
And Anthony, more or less, is just verbalizing the exact same thing here 20-some years later.
He's verbalizing what we all think.
Yeah. Still love you, honey. You know?
That's it.
But Sam Kinison said that 20-some years ago.
Yep, and he was right, too.
Yeah. That's why I love Sam.
Hell yeah.
That was the greatest comedian ever.
I can't really argue that.
Yeah. All right. Get back to Joe Rogan.
I honestly believe this.
You just fucking pissed all over everybody's parade. There's a bunch of people at work right now listening to this going like this.
Fuck. Am I in love?
Well, you definitely don't get the newness, but you can still have a great relationship. But what is that? It's not love?
But the falling in love part
is
the newness.
Well, you know what the newness is. The newness is a hormonal rush to make babies, and you're supposed to fuck during that time.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why most relationships peter out around 3 months in. That's when the woman hits her first trimester. She's already supposed to be pregnant, and you're supposed to be out of there.
Right.
And banging a new one. Why? Because people were getting eaten by jaguars on a daily basis. Yes.
I love that.
That there's a lot of truth to that, though.
Yeah, there is.
It's just like, well, we're just populating the species because longevity was not a part of our human existence. We were getting killed by disease. We were getting killed by natural predators. This and that. But this is a different world we live in. We have longevity now. People are living into their late 80s and into their 90s
right
now. So that need for just procreation just isn't necessary anymore. But the desire to go out there and just, spread your seed, as it were, still exists.
Right.
So they make a lot of good points. I mean, it's how you're wired.
Yeah, I agree.
To fuck as many people as you possibly could in order to ensure that the species survived.
Yeah.
The problem is our high mortality rate when human beings were in their infancy. Our high mortality rate led to very specific types of behaviors that are ingrained in our genetics.
Yes.
And those specific types of behaviors are frowned upon by feminists now. The very thing that got us to 2014, they're trying to curb back.
Yeah.
This like deceptive behavior in order to try to get laid, any type of sex other than the sex that they feel comfortable with. I'm happy that this happened. If the man's happy, yeah, fucked her and I left. Pig, rape! It's anything that's not along the lines of their ideal is rape.
Yeah. And like you said, it's just biological for the preservation of humanity early on. That's how we needed to act.
Here's where it gets more fascinating. The women who are trying to tighten this down as much as possible, no one wants to fuck. Yeah. At the
So obviously Joe has, taken the time to kind of like research this a little bit and get a full understanding as to where we come from as, the human population.
Right.
And there's a lot of truth to that.
There is.
And the thing is that it is a natural behavioral response.
Right.
Regardless of the changing environment around us.
Right.
It's still there. So he's got a lot of good points there.
Yeah, he does.
Very top of the fucking machine. The very top of the machine is run by troll ladies.
Troll ladies.
They're troll ladies.
Yeah.
They're not like really sexy, attractive objects of desire.
Yeah. I think when they speak about how can a man dictate what happens to our bodies kind of a thing, it's the same thing as how can you dictate what happens to a pretty girl?
Yeah.
Like you're not a pretty girl, so you don't understand what it's like to be that and to be able to manipulate men in such a fashion. So the troll ladies should probably steer clear of what they think attractive men and women should do. It's really funny, though, to watch. And I'm a lonely cat guy in my house, Joe.
That's what it's come to. A lonely cat guy
That's
on Long
pretty
Island.
much it. I occasionally have some bitches over, though. You gotta... I'm in the, like I said, with this whole I don't believe in love thing. I've had to convey to girls that do come over the house that I am not a boyfriend. I'm not your boyfriend or anything.
All right. Now, for a fact.
And when I heard this for the first time, I totally thought of you.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Because when I heard this for the first time, I was just like, I can totally relate to this.
The minute I heard it, I was like, that's fucking Neeley.
Yep.
100%.
Yep. And a specific instance where this took place.
I know of more than one.
Yeah, but I mean, at least one.
Sure.
But Anthony goes into explanation exactly the way that I've explained it to certain people.
Sure.
And it just turned ugly.
Yep.
And it's a hard thing. You tell them, I'm not your boyfriend. I went through so many years, Joe, of being with girls much too long, much longer than I should have.
Couple weeks.
Yeah. No, I was one of those fucking years guys. Like, I stayed in a marriage that I hated for 9 fucking years. 9 years. And I think radio was part of it because I had gotten into radio halfway through the marriage. So the second half, I didn't even pay attention to it. It was all about fucking radio. I'm in radio. This is great. I'm going to build this and concentrate on that. So whatever burden she was outweighed by the pleasure of doing radio. But after 9 years, that was it. So, but I jumped right from that into another relationship that just lasted years. And then after that one, I started thinking, like, maybe I shouldn't be and tell these girls like that I feel for them so much, And now I just say, look, understand what this is. We are not boyfriend and girlfriend. I am not in a relationship with you. And it almost works. I have to fine tune.
Isn't that the truth? It almost works.
That's so funny.
It goes about 2 years.
Right.
About 2 years, 24 months.
And then it's out.
And then it becomes a real issue.
Yep. Every time.
So they can hang with it for about 24 months, and then it's just like, All right, where's this going?
And what's funny is it hasn't been 23 months and it hasn't been 25 months. It has been exactly 2 years.
Exactly.
Each time. It's amazing.
It is. It is amazing. So for what Anthony is talking about here, I personally have experienced this on several occasions.
And they all last 2 years.
It is. It lasts 2 years.
Yep.
It. I'm almost there, though.
It's a tough sell.
I don't get the message. And it's, I start getting things. But then when I start getting texts, I'd be like, these are girlfriend texts. We're not in a relationship.
Do you say that to them?
Yes. I go, this is a girlfriend text.
What's an example of a girlfriend text?
A girlfriend text. You said I could do this, and then at the last minute you told me that I can't do it with you. I can't go here or do this or something. I'm like, I changed my mind, or I have something else, or I made other plans. It happens. It fell through. Oh, well, you're treating me like shit. This is... Hey, no, that's a girlfriend. That isn't a friend. If I call my friend Joe Curry, let's say, and I say, Joe, this weekend I'm having a party at the house. Come on over. He'd be like, okay. And then on Friday afternoon, I call him and say, Joe, no party. It's just not happening. I'm doing something else. All right, cool. That's like that, only if I could fuck Joe Curry.
All right. Well, you've had that situation.
I've had that situation.
I know that for a fact that you were supposed to do a New Year's Eve thing.
Yes.
And you were very sick.
I was.
And you told your friend that I'm very sick. I don't think I'm going to make it. And she went off on a tangent about how you fucked up her New Year's Eve and, you know, you ruined everything and how you screwed up her life and, everything is fucked because of you. And instead of saying, oh, okay, I get it. All right. I'm sorry you're sick. All right. I'll find other arrangements. Yeah.
And that would be the last time I talked to her.
Right.
There was a go fuck yourself, and that was it.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
So instead of calling up your good friend Neeley and saying, hey, dude, we were going to have a party at my house, but I had to cancel because I'm sick, I would say, all right, man, I hope you feel better.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you go about your business. But instead, no, you fucked my whole day up. Yep. I was planning on this. Yeah. You ruined it for everybody.
That's right. Meanwhile, I had 105 fever.
Yeah, but no, we can't just accept the fact that, hey, circumstances have changed and I have to cancel. And it's just like, okay, all right, well, I hope you feel better.
Yeah, I didn't even get that. I didn't even get the I hope you feel better.
Yeah, it's just like, no, you fucked up my situation.
My holiday. That was what I heard. You ruined my holiday.
Right, because it's all about me.
Okay. Go fuck yourself. We're done here.
Yeah, way to get sick, Chris, you selfish asshole, says Mr. Scary in the chat room.
Thank you for the pussy. Now go away.
Right.
And that's literally what it ended up being.
Exactly.
See, the girls...
You're trying to make that.
I'm trying to make it so they understand that they are one of my friends that are girls, that if we want to have sex and stuff, that's great. It's cool and everything. But we can't have this relationship where you live here and where we are obligated to go out for certain occasions because you're my top bitch or something or whatever it is.
What about them fucking other guys?
Yeah, that doesn't happen. No. No, what are you, an asshole? No.
Yeah, who is this guy?
No, they could. I don't want to hear about it, just like I don't want to have to tell them about it. Oh, I've heard this one. Like, oh, who?
Now, see, I've run into that too.
Yeah.
It's just like, you do whatever you want to do. I just don't need to hear about it.
Right. See, I'm a little bit more touchy on that one.
See, but yeah, but that's all subjective. But my point has always been, it's just like I'm not your keeper.
True.
You do what you need to do. If that's what you need to do, then you do it. I don't want to know about it.
Yeah. See, I try not to be a player guy. I try not to be the bounce around with two or three at the same time.
Yeah, but I've never done that either.
And I expect that though. But I expect that in return.
Sure.
If we're spending time, then we're spending time, and that's
Right.
it. I don't want to be sharing you with some other guy's jizz load.
Sure. Well, I agree with that too. But my point is that if that's how you want to go about your business, I'm not going to dictate to you.
See, but I will dictate that I won't be part of it.
Yeah, but you see, well, again, that's not dictating. That's just more or less announcing your stance where that's concerned. Because if you start dictating, then it's just like, oh, so I am your girl. And then now you're into the whole, oh, so we are in a relationship.
So you're saying that if I say it's not cool to date another dude while we're seeing each other, then that's me committing.
Yes, it is.
Oof.
Because you're making it exclusive now.
I don't know.
That's
Hear you. I'm not necessarily disagreeing.
That's how it goes, dude. If you're laying down rules, and that is a rule,
yeah, that's a definite rule.
You're more or less saying you're exclusively mine.
I always, even in a friends with benefits situation, I don't want to know. I'll leave it if she's also banging somebody else.
Well, but that's your choice. But
Yeah,
you can't tell her she can't bang somebody else if you don't have this exclusive relationship.
But I can tell her that if she is, then I don't want nothing to do with
That
it.
is true. But that ends your relationship.
So the out. All right, I get it. Yeah. Ugh.
Because if you basically close the door on her options, that means she's yours.
So really, I'm always looking for the relationship.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, because I would never tolerate that.
Well, so you're basically saying if you're in a intimate relationship with a girl, you don't want her banging anybody else. That means you're in an exclusive with her.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Jesus. Let's say I want to be that, but I don't want to be like moving toward a marriage.
Yeah, you don't want to be tied down.
I don't want to be moving
Yeah,
toward
but you see, girls make those barriers as the indication that, oh, it's you and me.
Right.
So if you're not in that, if you're not tied to relationship, then you can't put out those rules.
Right.
So it's either you're in or you're out.
Hookers, man.
Yep.
Leaning more toward it every day.
There you go.
Who are you going out with tonight? This is none of your business. It's none of your fucking business. Oh, is it this girl? Is it that one? Like, I'm not telling you. Why would I tell you? Why wouldn't you? God, I don't want to hear this. I just don't want to hear it. But that's,
There's certain patterns of in relationships that people automatically fall into, and they think they're allowed to. They think these are allowed
because it's become commonplace.
Yeah.
And that's what they've been used to their whole life, and that's what this groove that the guys have fallen into over the years, where they know, like, oh my God, you just realize at one point you go, uh-oh, I'm in a relationship. I didn't even want to be in one. We were dating or something, or just hanging out. Like, why does it always have to turn into a relationship?
So, there you go, Chris.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. That's how it goes.
Shit. I don't like this conversation anymore.
Well, that's the truth of the matter, though.
Yeah, no.
To girls before, I've said relationships are the death knell for a good companionship. All of a sudden now there's obligations, responsibilities, accountabilities, all these things that come along with a relationship take away from the good parts of hanging out, which is we're watching TV, we're drinking, we're fucking, we're going out to dinner. We're not arguing about anything. Because is that my phone? Oh, I hope not.
Is it a ding?
Oh, man.
How did you manage to avoid?
I'm sorry.
That's your girlfriend.
No, don't worry about it. It's his girlfriend.
Oh, it's my girlfriend. She's pissed.
So you avoided children. You got no children.
Yes. Oh, God.
That's a big one.
Well, see, that's me again.
Yep.
Big time.
It's me too, really, because I have grown kids, so it's not.
Yeah, but you were in a relationship for almost 24 years.
I know, but I mean, my point is that I don't have to fucking really deal with her anymore.
Yeah, I get that, but my point is that one of the things that tied you to your ex is the fact that you had children.
Yeah, and thankfully,
and I never got tied to anybody
right
due to children.
Thankfully, that rope is unknotted.
Right.
Is the biggest, because I almost had a kid with my wife, which would have just been, I'd have had to kill myself, I think. I would have had to do something to get out of it. Yeah. She got one of those ectopic pregnancies, which happens in the fallopian tube and blows up, and she started bleeding internally. And boy, if I had a future me came back at the moment I was driving her to the hospital, I may have made a stop at McDonald's first, or I might have.
That's hilarious.
Yep. But that goes back, to something that I can speak to is that. I wasn't one of these guys who just knocked some chick up and became tied to her forever because we shared a child.
Right, yeah.
That was something that I was very, very careful about throughout my entire life.
Yeah, and I will admit, at the end of mine, I mean, we knew we were dead, and we still agreed to stay because the kid we didn't want to do it to the kids during their senior year.
Right.
So, yeah, I did fucking fall under that fucking line.
But how many guys do you know as friends or even acquaintances or whatever who just knocks some chick up and now he's tied to her forever because they share a child?
A lot.
A lot. It happens a lot.
It does happen a lot.
It's just like my former girlfriend. I mean, she got... from what I understand, she got pregnant with this guy's baby, and she ended up marrying him, I'm assuming because of being pregnant.
Yeah.
And then after they're married, she suffers a miscarriage. Yeah. So it's just stupid.
It is stupid.
It's just like, you should know better at this age.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't.
Nope.
But, it's kind of strange that during the time that I spent with her, I wonder why she didn't get pregnant.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
And I know you banged that out.
Yeah, exactly. So it didn't happen on my watch because I wasn't about ready to allow that to happen.
Right, sure.
So that's just carelessness and stupidity on your part.
Yeah, and I don't think in that order either.
Yeah.
Had to pick a few things up while she was in the passenger seat, bleeding to death.
Oh my goodness!
Oh,
well, you say this because
Flat-tired.
she basically. I mean, how much money did she take over the years? That was a bad divorce.
It's 7 figures she took.
Yeah,
and
over a long period of time too, right?
Yeah, she got Dominic Barbara for her lawyer. Famed bloated Howard Stern attorney, but Dominic Barbara was her lawyer, and he was just so much fucking anger that I had. You think I'm angry now, people? Wow. Oh, was I angry. And yeah, I hated them. I hated that whole camp. The lawyers, they'd come in, and I had to pay her legal bills, which is another one of those great fucking
amazing
feminist things. I had to pay her legal bills and mine. So she hires Dominic Barbara, and he's just this fucking way expensive attorney. And I think, well, I got to save some money, so let me hire a cheaper attorney. Oh, that doesn't work, Joe.
That's ridiculous.
I had a guy that would...
Such a dumb law.
I know. Well, here's Anthony.
All right.
I'm signing checks, motherfucker!
They should somehow have a way to smooth that out, that, whatever you're paying for your attorney is what she can have for hers.
Right.
But she should not be able to go and hire a $600 an hour attorney.
Sure.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Come in with like a manila folder into court, and they had hand trucks of those big boxes of legal briefs and stuff on their side, and I'm just like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. And over the course of quite a few years, I had to keep paying her, and then it was over, and I'm very happy with that.
Do you ever communicate with her now?
No, thank God. And I don't have to. And if I had kids, I would have to. I don't understand how that happens. I like.
See, that's kind of what I was saying. Is just like, yeah, now I'm tied to you because we share a child
Forever and ever.
Yep. So it's just like throughout my years of adulthood, it's just like I was never going to allow that to happen ever.
Yep.
No way.
Like a lot of people say, well, no, over the years we built up a nice relationship. I'm friends with my ex-wife. It's like, no, you're not. You had to develop something, or you would have killed her, or yourself, or everyone involved. You have a kid, so you have to kind of build some type of relationship with her.
I have a buddy who's friends with his ex-girlfriend, and his ex-girlfriend is now married to another one of his friends, and they have kids together, and they get all their kids together and play.
That's weird. That's just odd. I don't think it ever goes away. I don't think that you fucked her ever goes away.
No, probably not, right?
Probably not.
Well, the ex-boyfriend and the new husband, they do have a little weird thing with each other. Where the new husband will occasionally criticize the ex-boyfriend in a little bit of an over-excessive way.
Wow.
Because he knows that
some
for
kind of
years
cuckolding going on there.
Slipping the dick to the missus.
Is that what's going on with you, Chris?
I don't think that's going on with me.
All right.
He pretends to be cool with it, but
we know.
There's a lot of weirdness to it all.
No
There's
shit.
a lot of weirdness.
Oh.
What? You got a note handed to you?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Dominic Barbara, the lawyer for my wife, he came to my house a couple of months ago.
For what?
Knocked on the door, came to the house. Because he heard that I got fired from SiriusXM, and he was like, I just got out of rehab. Drugs and alcohol ruined my life. I no longer have a law practice. He got arrested for stealing from one of the stores at the Miracle Mile there on Long Island, and he's destitute now. He was living on.
Wow.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Dominic was always on the Howard Stern show, and he was like on, I think he was like on Fox News as like a commentator and all kinds of stuff. And
Yep.
now he's like has nothing.
Now he's a bum.
Wow. How the mighty have fallen, huh?
Yeah, I guess, again, karma.
Karma's a bitch.
Yep.
Comes around. What comes around goes around.
Yep.
Fucking people over, you get fucked yourself.
That's right. It always comes back.
Yep.
On his friend's couch. He went from that attorney that was always on Howard's show and made millions of dollars, obviously made some off of me, and then he's just destitute now. So I read the stories in the paper before I got fired and everything, and I've always laughed. I thought, good for him, karma, motherfucker. But if you crow about karma, isn't that bad karmically? I think it is too. So, whatever. But he knocked on my door. And I'm looking out the window. I'm like, I think that's fucking Dominic Barbara. And he comes in, and he was trying to preach to me. Like, he's saying, I read what happened, and I'm thinking maybe, you need help or something. Or,
he wants to be your sponsor?
Like, fuck, what the fuck is he talking about?
He probably, A, sees you as an opportunity to get back in the limelight, and B, feels bad that he stole your fucking money.
Maybe. And he might have been doing one of those 12-step things where he's got to make some kind of reconciliation with me. So he came over, he did that. But then at the end, he's like, so you got the new show you're going to be starting up? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I know this advertising thing where this, and then he's pitching some type of advertising for the show. So, yeah. So he left his number. And then
bitch, you stole money from me, you fuck. Get out of here.
Yes, and people were saying that. They're like, why did you even let him in your house? Why, And they're saying you should have shot him when he got in the house and say that he was trying to attack you.
He's crazy. He was on drugs. He stole money. He's destitute.
Look at his fucking record, man. And check this knife out that was by his hand here. Yes, it matches my cutlery set, but it's a very popular item. That was always the intense fear of the thought that reincarnation might be true. And even though no one really remembers who they were in a previous life or who they are going to be in the next or something, you're always like, I don't want to. Man, I got a good one this time around. I got so fucking lucky. New York, United States, white male, job. This fucking is. I aced this. And then you get reincarnated. You're like fucking. You got Ebola. You're coughing your blood up in front of a fucking guy fucking a goat.
Or you're a monk.
Coughing blood up in front of a guy fucking a goat.
Fantastic. What an image.
All right, there's about a minute and a half left of this.
All right.
And you know you used to be a person, but you can't talk, and you're like,
and that's all you can do.
Bummed out.
That would be a bummer.
Beaten off, bummed out,
Yeah.
knowing
Do you know
you're only
what
going to live
I
to be
was?
10.
I was in New York. I was a white guy.
I was a white guy who had this whole thing where I was telling chicks no girlfriends.
No girlfriends. It was great. And they still came over. It's crazy.
How many of you think come over because they think, I'm going to fix him? This guy with his no girlfriend
You think?
bullshit.
I think so.
I know what I'm gonna
I
do.
think there have been a few that think like, oh, well, he just hasn't found the right girl.
And they'll
That's funny because I was listening to the CMS radio network today,
Okay.
and you had your friend Stephanie on,
Yeah.
and she had made the comment, and it just rang true because when I listened to this afternoon, she was just like, well, you know, what happens is we girls, and she's speaking for women in general,
Okay.
we're going to fix you.
Right.
You know, we're going to make you this way or that way.
Right.
And here they are talking about the exact same thing.
I know I didn't just ride with that.
Right.
say they go with it in the beginning, but then they start getting angry with you.
Yeah.
As they realize, oh, this motherfucker's serious.
Oh, wait a minute. He meant that bullshit.
A lot of guys say these things,
Yes.
but they can't pull it off.
No one really means that when they say
Who the
it.
fuck do you think you are that you could pull this off? They get that.
Oh, yeah.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
fuck do you think you are?
Why who's a fuck you, you fucking idiot?
Exactly.
Meanwhile, they already fucked you.
Rape. Wait a minute. I take
Post
away
fact.
consent.
Take away consent
I've
after the
taken away
fact.
consent.
Withdraw. The troll women have spoken. Stand on the fucking cliff with a horn. We found another one. Bring him.
Christ.
What are you having fun? What are you living your life by your own rules?
That's it. Fuck you. People don't like that, I guess.
So there you go.
So good.
I've been a victim of that.
Hell yeah.
It's like, how dare you live your life?
Yeah, bitch.
How dare you live by your own rules?
Yeah, pal.
I've had a couple of breakups where it's just like, oh, well, I obviously couldn't change you.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, it's like I made my intentions clear from day one. I haven't diverted from that at all. Why are you surprised?
I didn't invite you to spend time with me so I could change who I am.
Right.
That's never the goal.
Sure. Well, I can tell you, and I know you know this to be true, but this show has more or less been one of the impetuses to ending any relationship that I've ever had. Just about every one of them.
Yeah, it has.
It's like, this is the end all be all. Well, you still do that show.
Yeah, it's cost me a few.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, they weren't really anything serious.
yeah, but still, it was still a factor.
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, you remember the girl that with the texts?
Yeah.
You know, about how she heard the show and couldn't deal with me and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Well, this show has been a factor in a few occasions for me personally as well. Even up to this week.
Yeah. Yeah. This literally this week with you.
Yeah. So it's a problem. So anyway. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up the show.
Awesome.
I can tell you're ready to hit the rack.
I am. I'm burned.
I can tell. There's football tomorrow, dude. There's football to watch tomorrow.
I know. And the Browns have a late game, which means I can sleep a little, which is good.
There you go.
I don't know. 11 hours of drinking. It is definitely time for me to go to bed.
Yeah, I hear you. All right. Well, we want to thank John Petrucci
Yes.
for being a part of the Classic Metal Show tonight, and Steph and John, and of course my good friend Chris, and good friend Jackal, and everybody in the chat room, and everybody who participated tonight. We appreciate everybody tuning in.
Yep.
And well, are you available next week? Are you going to be around next week?
I think we're good now until December 13th when Steel Panther rolls around again. But,
okay.
Well, yeah, I don't think I have anything taking me off the show between now and December 13th.
All right.
And next week we will have Mark Sharon, the brother of Gary Sharon, from the band Hurt Smile on to talk about that project and talk about being the brother of Gary Sharon.
Okay.
So that's interesting.
Sounds like a good deal. All right. Well, I had a good time tonight. I know that it was party time for Chris. So happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
And hope you enjoy your birthday on Monday.
Well, I'm hoping both tomorrow and Monday to get something that starts with a B and ends with a B.
Starts with a B and ends with a B.
Yeah.
Trying to think what that might be.
Bathtub. No,
I don't think that's it.
You don't think that's that? You don't think
No,
that's?
I think I'm only thinking something that.
You don't think that's what I've been negotiating with these ladies?
No, I don't think that's what it is.
Oh, all right.
I think it's a 2-word phrase that starts with a B
And ends with a B.
ends with a B. You're right. Absolutely.
Bathtub.
Right. You're right. All right. Well, since it is your birthday, I'll give you the honors to take us out of here with a tune. So what should we play?
We are going to end then with a little bit of Jelly Roll by our boys in Blue Murder.
Oh, really?
How about that?
Wow. What made you think of that?
Top of my head.
Okay. Jelly Roll's a good one. I like it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, well, we're going to get out of here. We will be back next Saturday. We'll do this thing all over again. So until next Saturday night, this is Neeley along with my very good friend.
Chris Agan.
And we're out of here.
Bye, kiddies.